Hi, everybody. I'm Brendan Murphy.
Mathew Browne, and this is a few good movies. We're back from hiatus, people. We took some time off. It's all right. We had to get some things in order,
Mhm.
but we're back, and we're going to do a fun one this week.
That's right.
The highly anticipated new, just released Godzilla vs. Kong. Looking forward to talking about this one. But before we do that, let's do the fun stuff. Can we please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, tell somebody, post it on your IG story, tag us, something. Give us some love, people. That's all we're asking for. Other than that, let's talk. Let's do what we need to do.
That's right. Okay. So, like Matthew said, we're talking Godzilla versus Kong today, directed by Adam Wingard. Fourth movie in the Warner Brothers Monsterverse, as people are calling it, with 2014's Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters. And we've got a big old cast this time. We've got some Skarsgård. We've got Millie Bobby Brown is back. Rebecca Hall. Got some new people. We got Brian Tyree Henry as well. He's coming. Isaac Gonzalez. Kyle Chandler's coming back. We always love to see us some Kyle Chandler. Always love to see us some Kylie Chandler. So, right? He's a cutie pie. I love seeing him on screen.
See, you're hitting on something that bothered me right away.
Really? Okay.
I didn't get enough Kyle Chandler in this
100%.
movie. That was like literally
as
soon as I left, I was like, I saw Kyle Chandler for like 5 minutes. I was like the first thing that bothered me in this movie. Not to start off on a bad note, but you emphasized so much right there. Love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to see more.
Trust me, this is going to be a bigger thing we talk about later. But I do want to say real quick right off the bat too, as we're like talking about this, dude, Lance Reddick is in this movie. He has one line standing next to Kyle Chandler. Lance Reddick, good actor.
Great actor.
Like fucking The Wire, John Wick. He's all over the place. I love Lance Reddick. They put him in there for maybe one or two lines. These sons of bitches. Okay. But off of that, okay, so.
And in their defense, I understand, and I kind of accepted this going in. You know, this movie's about watching Godzilla fight King Kong. Like, that's what you go. If you go to this movie looking for fantastic acting performances and a deep story, you're going to be let down for sure. You got to go into this movie. Okay, you got reservations about that one. But at least that was my mindset going in. How do you feel?
Because, see, this is my thing. I agree with that 100%. What this movie, and Godzilla King of the Monsters specifically, do not get is that if that's the path you're willing to take, and I am down with that path, if you just want to give me the big old monster fights and all that shit, I'm down. I'm ready.
Sure.
Fuck the humans. I don't want to see fucking any of them the whole time.
I agree.
This movie gives me an hour of them. Stop showing me the fucking humans. I hate them.
I agree. That first hour of trying to build up, I was like, what are we doing?
I don't give a shit.
I don't care about these characters at all.
Couldn't care less.
It was out of the bill we just named, it was like the people that were like the least entertaining. Like you didn't see that much of Millie Bobby Brown, which I honestly didn't even like her performance in.
I'm not a huge fan of Millie Bobby Brown in general. Strangest Thing hype got me negative on Millie Bobby Brown right off the bat.
I don't think she's a bad actress, but I do think that she gets more credit because Stranger Things is a good show, and her performance is like, I mean, she's pretty silent in most of that show. It's not like, oh shit, she's, there was these scenes where she did some pretty crazy stuff. I'm not discrediting her, but I agree. I don't know. This movie felt like she was trying more than acting. I wasn't impressed. There was a lot of over the top stuff that I just didn't, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is like, I'm not averse to Millie Bobby Brown. Sure. I just haven't seen anything from her that I'm like, oh wow, great actress. Can't wait to see what she does later. Like, every time I see her, I'm like 11, and I'm like, I don't want to think about that show anymore. Yeah. I've had to spend too much time thinking and seeing and reading about that show. I don't want to hear about it. And Stranger Things. But yeah, I mean that's my biggest problem with this movie, which we can dive into. But before we do that, so just initial thoughts, like general thoughts on the movie, like what you think.
So I don't know. Have you seen the original?
Like the 1950s
black and white Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Not that one, no. But I've seen like the original King Kong. I still need to see the original Godzilla. Like I do need to like go back and watch all of this.
I have that on DVD.
What I have seen are great.
I've got the original Godzilla on DVD if you ever need that.
I mean, they're all on Criterion too, which is really nice. That's right. Anybody's trying to seek them out, like that's a good spot to go find them. They put out that really nice set like a couple years ago that's a little pricey, but like you get like 20 movies for like 120 something like that.
For Godzilla, I might do that.
Yeah, I'm really nice set. It's like this really beautiful like book that it comes into. Like it's caught my eye a couple times when the Barnes and Noble sale and the Flash sale go up. Then I'm just like,
stop it. You're tempting me. I'm over here scratching my arm like a junkie. Stop. Relax.
Oh, absolutely. But
so initial thoughts. So basically, by bringing that up, I was just saying that like I knew how the original one ends, and I knew that in the original one they don't kill each other either. They both fight, and then they kind of go away at the end. So going into it, I was like, okay, so this is what I'm assuming is going to happen. They're going to fight.
Which, some people quick. Spoilers, we're going to spoil the fuck out of this movie. Like it's,
sorry. Yeah, it's a review. That's what we're here for, is to spoil it. Don't click it if you don't want to hear it. Don't click it. So I knew that was going to happen, and it did. So that I wasn't like let down that there wasn't a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I also, again, like I said, I went in with reserved expectations. I didn't think, okay, this movie is gonna, like I said, it wasn't gonna blow me away. I figured I was coming to see the action. And so with that, I'd probably give it, it's funny. Yesterday I walked out of the theater, I said 6.5 out of 10. The more I've thought about it, it's probably like a 4.5 or a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Because like I was just saying, I went there for the action because that's all I expect. Because they fight a lot in the first one, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that. You only get like 2 real scenes of fighting. You get the third one, I guess, but that's also another thing I wasn't exactly happy about.
For sure, I understand it because I'm kind of on the same wavelength. I think I was a little more excited just because like these movies, man, they sucker me every single time. They show that trailer. Whoever edits these trailers deserves a raise,
it's
medal,
an art.
Something.
It's an art.
Every time I watch one of these trailers for this movie, I'm like, this is the one that's going to be really fucking good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
This is the movie that's going to do it for me. Because I was disappointed in the first Godzilla. I grew to like it more the more I watched it. But like when I remember walking out and being like, not really my thing. I wanted a little more.
Sure.
But I tell you what, after comparing that movie to like King of the Monsters and this, I pray for those days where like the monsters have like scale and like they feel like fucking monsters and they feel like these giant destructive forces instead of just these like giant CGI punching bags that just fly all over the place.
Yeah, dude.
But then so after I saw that Godzilla movie, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna really be in for this. I won't get excited. Kong Skull Island comes out. I'm not that excited for it because it's part of this.
Sure.
I end up seeing it. I really like that one. That's probably my favorite out of the 4.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
Because that movie, I thought they learned their lesson. Because they realized that everyone's favorite part of that first Godzilla movie was Cranston. So the lesson they learned was, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Our scripts, sometimes they're not the best. That's fine. I think the first Godzilla probably has the best like script characters out of all of these. But Kong Skull Island learns the lesson of like, let's just stack this cast with a lot of character actors that people like.
Sure.
Like it doesn't matter what our script is, as long as these people are on screen, people will be like, oh, it's that guy. I'm always in good hands with that guy. Whatever they deliver or like whatever, I'm usually gonna like. Because you think Kong Skull Island, John Goodman, Samuel L. Jackson, Shea Wiggum.
Yeah.
You got 2 of the guys from Straight Outta Compton. I'm blanking on their names right now, but like I like both those guys who played Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
You've got like even your leads are like pretty good, but like are lifted up by the other cast. Like fucking Richard Jenkins is in that movie for like 5 minutes. I love Richard Jenkins. I watched Step Brothers again this week.
Okay,
but like Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston are good. Like that movie is stacked with a lot of interesting, good character actors. Like throughout it, like let me.
What's his name? Curly hair, John. What the hell's his name?
Oh, John C. Reilly, of course.
John C. Reilly's at the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, John C. Reilly fucking kills it in that movie. Like it's just full of people that the second you see them, I'm like, oh, that guy, I'm ready. Give it all to me. I'll watch 10 hours of these people just in a room together. That's fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter what the script is or the dialogue. These guys are always going to be compelling no matter what.
Definitely.
And then I see King of the Monsters and I'm like, why'd they go back? They just like, they put like a couple people, like Bradley Whitford's in it. I like Bradley Whitford. Ken Watanabe is always a treat no matter what.
See, but I feel like King of the Monsters at least delivered on action. They fought.
Yeah, they fought a lot.
That's the one thing I did appreciate. That's why I thought this one might be better, because King of the Monsters was actually, ironically, the last thing I saw in theaters before COVID shut everything down. Going back, I picked right back up first thing, so that's actually kind of fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was just it. I was like, that movie was actually there was some.
They were quite sure the whole thing.
Monsters.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, if we get that with now Kong and Godzilla, this could be great, or could be crazy, at least entertaining.
Yeah. And then this movie is just so bland throughout most of it. Like, there's no one like that to really guide you through. And I thought people like Brian Tyree Henry, an actor I really like, they make him a fucking monster podcaster. And like, listen.
His character is actually my favorite, though, in terms of acting performances. I think I like Brian's character the best.
See, but I hate that group of people. I really, I couldn't stand, every time they come back, then I was just like, they got the worst jokes.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
For sure.
And I like Brian Tyree Henry. Millie Bobby Brown is maybe not my favorite, but whatever. She's fine. A lot of other people like her. And then you have the kid from Julian Dennison, who's from Hunt for the Wilder People, which is a movie I fucking adore. And I was excited to see him in this, but every time they come back to them, I'm just like, this is the worst.
They sucked, yeah.
Yeah, terrible. And I got to spend a good 20, 25 minutes with them. The beginning of the movie is mostly those three, or a good third of it is just these guys talking about monster conspiracy theories. I'm like, this is the last thing I want to see right now. Really.
For sure. Yeah. I like I said, I liked his character, the scenes per se, what they were actually doing, flat. It was real flat. I wasn't on board. I was never excited when we cut to them. I wasn't like, oh, here we go, something crazy is about to happen. And I didn't show up for that. So you don't even got to show me that.
And they mostly have to do the big exposition dumps, just here's what the big evil corporation is doing. And I'm just like, you can tell me that in 5 seconds, man. And it's just also this thing where, and I know this is their big movie that they've been building up to. They want to do Godzilla versus Kong. This is the thing. So they want to do all these kind of Avenger styles. There's these people over here. There's these people over here. And that's how usually a disaster movie will work. I understand that. I hate it every time we cut back to them. I really did. If we're going to do that, at least give me something to hold on to. There are scenes I'm just I couldn't care less.
Yeah. They're never. Yeah. Because they didn't really, other than, try to have to shut down, another spoiler, have to shut down Mechagodzilla at the end. I mean, I don't know. They don't ever really get into anything in terms of danger. So there's nothing that gives you a reason to care about these characters. They just effortlessly go through this apex place. They end up in Hong Kong as effortless as can be. Yeah. I'm just I'm not seeing any resistance for these characters.
Yeah, I mean, they're very passive in just the sense that things happen to them. And they're just and now we're going to the next thing. And now
exactly. It feels too much like a movie. It's this is too easy. That I haven't seen these guys. They jumped in with Mechagodzilla and that thing, and then in a blink of an eye, it was all good. I was like, well, hold on. I was like, what?
Yeah. Which, hey, if there are only characters and they gotta give us the patchwork to get to the next fight, that's fine.
Sure.
And then we have a whole other boat of people with Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall and Isaac Gonzalez, actors I really like all those actors, but they aren't the kind of people like a John C. Reilly or a Samuel L. Jackson or a John Goodman who, whenever they show up in the movie, you're just that's the best performance in the movie. They're fucking killing it. They got the presence that will always make me feel like I'm being entertained right now. And and they're younger actors, so they just they don't have that history with us, and they don't have that kind of charisma to really just punch us through. Because I really like Isaac Gonzalez and Baby Driver. I like Alexander Skarsgård and stuff like Big Little Lies and other stuff. Rebecca Hall is.
And correct me if I'm wrong. No, I'm definitely wrong. Skarsgård, he wasn't the person who played fucking. Who am I thinking of that played it? Who played the?
That's
clown?
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. That is
that's the whole family of the Skarsgårds.
Okay. I knew I recognized the Skarsgård. Mm-hmm. Okay, Bill.
Yeah, because they are Stellan Skarsgård's sons.
Okay.
So you got all those guys, and then they're doing their thing. And I like the little girl Kong relationship. That stuff was kind of decent. That's the only stuff that kind of worked on an emotional level, if anything at all. Yeah, I got a little just beep out of that.
I liked it, but what I didn't like was the moment that he like talked back to her in the middle of the rainstorm.
Yeah.
What bothered me is like, okay, the mom saw it, but then when they cut to the people, 500 feet away and looking through all this rain, and somehow they saw this little girl do this and this, and they were like, oh, they're communicating, and everyone just knew immediately. That was like, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Maybe I'm just harping on it at this point, but
see, that shit's fine with me. It's a dumb action movie, so like I'll let that shit slide. I can like, take that or leave that. It's more just when the movie's fucking boring that I just like can't stand. Like do as much dumb shit as you want. That's fine. Just like make sure that I'm having like a good time watching it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do that often enough. See, the thing for me is like, because here's the deal. Any movie with like a big CGI monkey character, or any CGI monkey character at all, is gonna have the scene where they'd start doing the sign language and like all that stuff. And I wish we got to that earlier and it wasn't this big thing. Because like I think back to Planet of the Apes. Oh, the monkey does sign language.
Mighty Joe Young.
Oh, the monkey does sign language.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Fucking Rampage with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh, the monkey does sign language. And I was just like, does that have to be a big reveal where everyone's just like, oh my God? Because this movie it takes that shit so seriously. And I'm just like, this does nothing for me.
Yeah, they do they do the over the top scores of it. And I'm like, this is not a dramatic moment to me.
Not
like
that
when
invested, yeah.
No, yeah, just fucking let it happen. It doesn't have to be this. You guys are trying to make it so much, which almost makes it worse.
Yeah. And it's just like, really, you guys are gonna copy like Rampage? That's the movie you want to go with?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say that these two are like on the same like even keel as far as quality. Like
it's not good. It's not good.
Great. Not good.
I didn't even see Rampage because it looked so ridiculous. So.
But like that's the thing. Like me and a couple buddies, we had a couple drinks. We went to go see Rampage. It was fine. Awesome. Like it was whatever. We weren't expecting anything. But this
for sure.
Like as much as I'm saying like don't take it seriously, it's a big dumb action movie. Like it's still like it's Godzilla versus King Kong, man.
Yeah, it's too. That's what I'm saying. It's too. I wish they would have just foregone all the acting shit. Made a couple things to give you, like I said, you need a couple scenes to tell you what's exactly going on, to give you, the exposition, and then you need a couple scenes of comedic relief, which they tried to do with the 3 and they missed it entirely, and that's it. Then just let these fucking two fight the whole time. You don't need all this trying to develop these characters and stuff. I wanted to see King Kong and Godzilla battle for 2 hours. Yeah, because I got 2 fights and it was like 10 minutes of fucking and they weren't even that good.
Yeah, because all the best stuff was in the trailers. So like at the end,
literally,
I saw it. That was great. Like it's just, and which to like compare it to another movie that came out over the last, like I really think Pacific Rim was the last movie to get this shit right. Like really strike that balance between like being silly and like keeping it like somewhat serious, but like there are enough fights in there that you're just like holy fucking shit, and you're being like consistently wowed by like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And like the scale is right. Yeah. And it's Guillermo del Toro who's directing it, so it looks really good too. Like,
sure, yeah, it definitely looks good.
Some fun, goofy shit. Like, I love that Charlie Day and like his buddy are just like mad scientists, like with monsters and shit. Like that shit's fun for me.
So you just hit on Del Toro and how it looks. That's another thing I didn't really like. What was with all these like trying to do like these follow their face like up fronts with like King Kong and Godzilla, like we were watching a boxing movie.
Yeah.
Like they tried to get like some raging bull shots in there or something. And I was like, I don't know. I like Godzilla falling over, it goes with them. I don't know if I was feeling that. Go wide, man.
And that's the thing too. It's just like, why would you not have more shots of like the people looking up at them fighting?
Show the bigness of them. We're not trying to have this isn't two guys battling in a UFC ring. Go wide. Show me these giant monsters throwing each other through the city. Yeah. I don't need to see Godzilla's reaction. We get it. He looks like an angry fucking dinosaur. Like, like what else is he going to look like? Is he going to be smiling?
Well, it's just like, once again, going back, because I watched the first Godzilla, the 2014 one before watching this one. And like I said before, that movie really gets the scale of definitely. Monsters correct.
I agree with you.
Like whenever one of the monsters does something, it like is fucking blowing your mind.
When like, that one gets out of that like net thing or whatever, that scene's intense. I'm like, oh shit, it's cracking, dude.
And like I remember watching that movie, and the moment where Godzilla fucking opens that dude's fucking mouth up and like breathes the fire down, I remember my jaw dropping to the floor, my eyes wide, and just thinking, holy shit, this is incredible. And just like, there are so many shots of like Aaron Taylor Johnson and his crew just like looking up at the monsters, or like the shots of the two of them in the same thing where you're just like, holy fuck, these things are big. Exactly. Oh my God, these guys are huge.
This one, like, they don't even show like the crowd that much. Everyone's just like, yeah, the monsters are here.
Yeah.
They're going to destroy the whole city.
And you think about a sequence like the train scene in that first Godzilla where it's just the big Muto thing or whatever, and the military guys just trying to fucking get out of there. And like the way, like, there's nothing like that in here that really makes you feel like the scale of these guys. Like by the time they're fighting Mechagodzilla, you're just like, yeah, man, this is cool, I guess.
It feels like a street fight. It's a street fight. It's two guys that got drunk over a $20 pool game.
Yeah, and like, it's not necessarily this, but there's like a good term I've heard for like kind of like CGI that can just kind of go everywhere. It's just like, it's like fucking flubber, man. They just like fucking go on all over the place. There's no weight to it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
And it just like doesn't really connect, which that's the one thing that bugs me. So I don't know how you have this movie where it's a big monkey and a big lizard beating the shit out of each other. And I'm like, the first fight, I was still kind of in it. I was like, oh, cool, fun, okay, all right. Yeah, but by the end, I'm just like, when is this gonna be over? Like, is this gonna be over soon?
It lost it. It was like by time they revealed Mechagodzilla, which is a moment that should have been huge, should have been like a holy shit, Mechagodzilla's coming out and about to battle this too. Yeah. I was so, and I hated how quickly like Godzilla and King Kong were just like, we're gonna team up now, and like they had eye contact and immediately were friends again. I was like, these are primalistic animals here. I understand it's a movie and they're super, but like. Let's have them all fight. Let's have a three-way here for a second. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just everything, again, was too easy. Everything just, there was no resistance to anything.
But like, that's it's like all the monster stuff, it feels that way, but the human stuff and like the science of it, whatever, they spend so much time on. And I'm just
way too much.
Can we like find some kind of balance here? Can we cut like 30 minutes out of this? Because if this is a 90-minute movie, I'm probably a lot more satisfied, to be quite honest.
Either that or give me another 20 minutes of Kyle Chandler. Like, motherfucker, if you're going to make it an acting movie, put the best two actors in this movie you don't show me.
Yeah, you give me like 5 minutes.
Dude, this is where, like, I don't know why they've been doing this. This was my biggest problem with the original Godzilla. I do like it now that we've seen it in hindsight. But if you watch that original trailer, it looks like that movie is about Bryan Cranston and Godzilla. Bryan Cranston dies within the first fucking 15 minutes of that movie and they never show him again.
Yeah.
I don't understand why with this universe they've decided to take the best actors, and like I said, with Kong they kind of learned it, but then they just
but like that's the thing, at least Cranston has like a good 30 minutes to like make sure he's in your mind for the rest of the movie.
Sure.
And like Aaron Taylor Johnson is dealing with the fallout of everything of that, which is like good. But like
Bryan Cranston gives you some build up.
He gets like 2 good scenes where he really gets to go for it.
When he has to watch his wife die, oh man.
And then when he's just yelling at the top of his lungs in that storage room, you're just like, give me like 10 more minutes of this, please. I want
for sure. Exactly.
More.
It gets you in. Now all of a sudden I'm invested into the characters a little bit. Now I can watch it longer.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, even not that. It's just like, okay, so I had a good 10 minutes of like people talking and it was entertaining and it was fun. It was fun to see Bryan Cranston go off the leash in a big monster movie for like 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's like Kong Skull Island works, because like whenever they cut back to the humans, you'll have, I just saw like 5 minutes of John Goodman and Samuel L. Jackson talking to each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That filled the tank for the next like 10 minutes. Great.
Yes.
Keep going. Or you'll have John C. Reilly just like, hey guys, I've been living with this like Vietnamese like little village
come on
for,
in.
Like 20, 30 years. You want to have some fun? Or going to talk about the Red Sox for like a little bit. I wish I could go home. Like he's got the fucking huge eyes. He's got the curly hair, and he's like talking about King Kong, and you're like, yeah, cool. Like let's do this.
Yeah, for sure.
And here it's just like Rebecca Hall and Skarsgård going like, the world needs this. The world needs this to happen.
Yeah, this is our one moment.
That 10 times in the first 30 minutes of this movie. I was like, anything else, please? Do you have anything else for me?
Okay.
It's just like,
Well, let's talk about that too real quick. How do you feel about the second world that they go down into and get all gravity?
Honestly. I wish there was a big fight down there. Why the hell isn't there a big fight down there?
Yeah, I agree.
The fucking monsters are going up and down and they're fucking switching gravity and shit like that. Like that could have been fun.
See, I agree. That's what I was gonna say. Is I would have liked if they would have used it, especially when Godzilla blows fire all the way down to that hole. I was hoping Godzilla jumped down, not King Kong comes back up.
Yeah.
And you don't get that. And
yeah. It's a huge waste.
So it ends up just being this place where Kong just goes and gets the axe.
And he's just like, I'm a king down here. And I'm like, cool.
There's not another animal in sight.
You were a king on the other place too. I mean, that's great. And it's just like, it's just like, there's a big old shot of him like sitting down with the axe. And I'm like, that's fine. But like, are we going to do anything with this?
That's the exact moment I'm talking about with the over-the-top score. The score at that moment, he's sitting there, you feel like the way the score makes it sound like is this has been the 3rd episode of Lord of the Rings, and they finally got, they've accomplished this huge thing. And you're like, this was like 20 minutes of bullshit that got me to this. I'm not really sold on this moment of, wow, he earned this. Like,
and it's not like, it's that thing where it's like, that's the one thing. Kong has been really upset that he's not sitting on a throne all the time and ruling over his dominion in the middle of the earth. I was like, is that a thing? I don't think that was a thing. I thought the thing was like his family. I'd rather have a scene where like he sees his dead family like strewn across and he's like sad. And then he's just like, oh no, Godzilla killed all my family or some shit like that.
Well, what about in Kong Skull Island too? All those hieroglyphics and stuff wrote on about how this is his home and he's a savior here. Yeah. But all the time he just deep down wants like.
It just doesn't do anything. I think it's just like King Kong. You know what? He's a king.
It's just like you said, you nailed it. If you're, that's my problem. I don't mind that underground thing, but they didn't use it. They didn't use it except for the Apex trying to start Mechagodzilla. I was like what?
That's how. Showing me this cool shit where like he's going upside down, he's floating in the air and shit. Why aren't we using it?
Yeah, we didn't use any of that, and instead he grabbed the axe and came back up.
And then it's just like, oh, you're gonna have to wait for the next movie. I don't want to see the next movie. Like, fuck you guys.
Was there? I didn't even watch all the way through the credits to see if there was a scene at the end to foreshadow something because I was like, I don't even care at this point.
I'm sure they'll make another one. Like, I feel like that's the reason you leave Godzilla and King Kong alive at the end is so you can make more movies.
I disagree. I think it's because that's what happens in the original. That that's the only thing I was honestly okay with because, like I said, that just I don't know. It feels wrong to kill off either King Kong or Godzilla. Like those two don't lose, but they can't lose.
Yeah. Although I will say, as much as I was Team Kong, King Kong got his ass beat. He really got his ass beat.
That's one of the things I did like about the movie. That first fight when Godzilla just shows up and bodies his ass, and then he just like he's in that big thing of fire and goes away. I was like, Godzilla's a fucking badass when he did that.
Yeah, and even in that second fight where Kong thinks he's got it, he's maybe got him on the ropes a little bit. Godzilla's just like, you ain't got shit, man.
If they wouldn't have revived him, I mean, Godzilla's like
Godzilla fucking ate his lunch.
You can't beat Godzilla, dude. He's a fucking badass.
That fucking laser breath, man. There's no shot him down.
There's literally no way.
I love a big monkey. I fucking love King Kong. He's great, but like he's not taking down Godzilla.
Godzilla has like you said, a ray beam, a huge tail, is like indestructible skin. Like you can't atomic bombs he eats for breakfast. You can't fucking kill this guy.
5 minutes before they fight, he just blew a hole down to the center of the earth.
Look, they had to take King Kong. The whole movie was about King Kong getting to that hole.
Having to go around and in, and he's just like, boom.
Godzilla was like, oh, someone's there? Fuck that shit. I was there in 5 minutes.
I can smell that monkey. I hear him. I hear his footsteps.
His scales let him know that, someone's there. And he's like, yeah.
He's just like, okay, time to fuck up some people. Okay.
Dude, the thing that makes King Kong like king is that axe looks like one of the scales from Godzilla. I was like, oh, you have one and you're the king. This guy's got a whole back of him.
Which I didn't notice that. Good pull. I thought that's pretty great. Well, that's why it fucking charges up when he does the fire breath. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Which, that shit's cool. That shit's fun.
I like that.
More of it. It's just like, it's just, that's the thing. Like, I'm having fun when the movie is doing the dumb, fun bullshit that it's selling itself as.
Sure.
But like, it's so little and so few far between at the end of the movie that I'm just like, I like I said, I was like checking my watch, like, when is this over? Like, I would really like for this to be over if you're not going to give me the shit that I want to see, which it's just, yeah. And because, like, we haven't even gotten into the villain shit, which can be fixed so easily. Like, it's just, like, that shit bugged me too. Like the father and daughter thing, where it's just like, this is also just like a big fat nothing that doesn't really do anything. Like, I would have respected, it's hokey, but like, at least it's something where it's just like, I don't know, the mother got killed in a Godzilla attack, or like King Kong bodied like their mother or some shit like that. I'll be like, okay, that's the reason they want to kill Godzilla and they want to put Godzilla in check. Like, that's fine. If you just spend like 2-3 minutes on that, okay, I buy their motivation. In this, they're just like another just like generic villain. And I'm just like, you got Demian Bashir, very good character actor, like worked with Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, and he's very good in all those movies and everything like that. And you don't do anything with him. Like, he's not intimidating. He just walks in the first 5 minutes to Skarsgård. He's like, we want you to go to the center of the earth. You cool with that? The world needs this. We all need this.
Yeah, we built anti-gravity ships.
And it's just like, okay. And then Isaac Gonzalez is just like, I'm the big old fucking business bitch that's coming in here, and I'm going to die at the end of the second act, which is just like, cool. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's just so lazy when it comes to most of that stuff. And I feel like it just really does. And I know there's some people who are like really digging on the whole, like, I saw somebody compare like the Skarsgård Hall and the little girl relationship to like Found Family, and like kind of how like I think it's Ripley, Hicks, and Newt are in like Aliens, and like that's fine, but like none of it is done in the way to where it like comes across
at all
in an emotional way. At the end, I'm just like, they had like a nice little moment where like I thought the coward thing was funny. I thought that was like kind of cute, but like once again, like the characters just aren't, as much time as we spend with them, they're not dug into enough, like at all, for me to care.
You don't get shit.
Like, and listen, I'm down for the dumb shit. Like, I'm gonna be first in line in 2 months for Fast 9. I'm there. I'm ready.
With John Cena, they showed the fucking the preview.
I'm fucking ready. This is dumb as hell. I'll see it 3 times, man. I'm ready. That show'll be dumb as hell, but like at least those characters, I've had like a history with them. Like, I know who they are. Like, I have fun when I see them. I love seeing fucking Roman and Dominic and fucking Letty and everybody. I love seeing Tej and fucking all these people. Han's coming back. I'm fucking stoked.
Always.
Like, there's all that shit there that I'm like, I'm not just excited for the big fucking car explosions. I'm excited to see those people again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see another fucking person from this movie again, except Kyle Chandler. I'll salute Kyle Chandler. One of the greatest. And it stinks because I think there's a lot of talent here. Like we said, I really love Brian Tyree Henry. I think whenever I see him in a movie, he's usually one of the best parts of this. But they saddle him with such an unforgivable role that it's just like, it's really hard to pull off. And he's got to like play off of 2 of the most annoying characters in the movie. This doesn't work. Because like when they were like talking like tap or no tap, I was like, what the fuck, man? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah.
Which, even if they were gonna do a fucking Doctor Strangelove joke, like the like fluids or whatever, like they're putting fluoride in the water.
I'm very upset. That's my favorite movie. I should have recognized that reference.
Well,
very upset.
It's funny. There's a couple 2001 references in here too, like when they're going through the fucking portal and it's doing the like.
I definitely noticed that, because when that thing, I literally, when I saw that, was thinking that how that got discovered was something that Stanley Kubrick did with a lens that wasn't attached to a camera, and that's literally why people look at that, and that's what makes that. So I did recognize that. I was like, wait, I didn't think that they were paying homage, but I was like, that's totally the same look from. I caught that one
for sure. But it's just like, if you're gonna, it's just that shit annoys me. Like, I don't know, at least like the Halloween movie, when they brought in the podcasters, they were dead within like 40 minutes. And I was like, I don't have to hear about the podcast anymore. Because like when the movie's over and Brian Tyree goes up to Kyle Chandler, he's like, can you be on my podcast? I
hated that. Yeah, I was like, what is that?
I was so done. It's just.
The only acceptable podcaster I've ever had was Woody Harrelson as the podcaster from the movie 2012. He's fucking incredible. And then he just goes to the top of that mountain and gets blasted. So it was awesome.
And I'll raise you Jude Law in Contagion. Jude Law in Contagion is great because they like
I'd have to watch that movie again to really.
But like, he's not like this, like he's this scummy kind of character that everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Yeah. Shut up. You're ruining this shit. And it's just like, it's doing that. And like, you know, obviously we're in a pandemic now, that character exists and they do it pretty well. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll tell you what, Soderbergh, he saw it, he knew what to do with it, but like
had a vision.
They're just doing it just like a podcast character instead of a journalist character. I'm just like, wow, like, we got to do this, man. Come on. Like, yeah, it's just a bummer. Because like, I really wanted to go in and like this movie.
Yeah.
Like, we were even talking about it, like, I'm flying back to Los Angeles in a little bit. I'm going to be all vaccinated and everything. I'm going to get to go back to the movies in a couple weeks. I was like, oh, I want to go see this again in IMAX maybe. I'm not going back to see this movie.
Yeah, well, I had a chance to watch it. Like, my buddy, like, he was like, dude, I can pull it up. Like, he's got like a little, you know, like a 60-inch TV. He was like, let's watch it on this. I was like, no. I was like, this is a theater one. I was like, I got to get there. And, you know, I'm still glad I gave the money to the theater just because where theaters are at this time. Mm-hmm. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but that doesn't have to be a theater movie. It's not really, doesn't really.
Well, it's just, that's the thing too. It's just like that's your return to the movies after the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm sure you're just like, I wish I could have given it to any other movie, please.
Yeah, I just, like, when it ended, like 3 people tried to clap for it, and I was just like, shut up. I was like, I'm not clapping for this. I'm clapping that it's over so I can leave.
Especially because, like, I don't know how you feel. I thought Mechagodzilla, not good.
Stupid. He looked dumb. I hate that. I hated Mechagodzilla. I hate how they did his name too. The reveal of it's Meg.
It's like he's a robot Godzilla. No, he's a which can work, can be fine if you do it right. If you have the jokey, ridiculous tone for the rest of the movie instead of here's all the science-y gobbledygook that no one cares about. And we're like doing the big fucking score for Kong whenever something like slightly interesting is happening. Yeah. It's just like you're taking it a little too seriously. And
Mechagodzilla didn't look cool.
And I'm a guy, I like Adam Wingard and I like his movies. I really love The Guest, and I think Your Next is great. I think I thought Your Next is great at balancing that kind of goofy shit while doing like the big horror set pieces and everything like that. And it's like genuinely scary, but is also like really leaning into the camp of like something that of the genre that it's in.
Right.
And I feel like this movie just is missing that balance.
Yeah, it was I didn't feel really any emotions at all. Yeah. Like when it ended, I was just like, okay. I sat there and watched something for 2 hours, but I never like, there was no peaks and valleys. I wasn't like hyped up about any of the fights. Like I said, the one moment I really had was after that first fight, and I was like, Godzilla's a badass. Other than that, I there was like no part of me that was like emotionally invested into this thing. And I tried because I went in with, like I said, the highest hopes, but also the lowest expectations because I knew that, you know, I'm going to a
absolutely
CGI Kong versus Godzilla, you know, so we'll see. And I still was let down.
Yeah, like I said, like I like Adam Wingard. I thought all the trailers looked pretty good. I thought there was some good actors in it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's do it. Yeah. That fucking first trailer got me hyped as anything.
Yeah, it looks
so good. I woke up early in the morning. I went and got my Bojangles. I sat in my like parents' nice little theater room, and I sat down. And like 30 minutes in, I was like, when is this over?
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything out of this.
Yeah, it was tough. It was unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Because I really wanted it to be good. I wanted to sit here and talk about crazy action scenes and be so hyped.
Which, like I said, like I'm all down for like the dumb, big, like fun-looking movies, but like this one is just so bland for most of the running time.
They just don't lean into it. Like you said, either be a movie that has good acting or be an action movie. Don't be a 2-hour movie that has a couple okay action scenes and an hour's worth of terrible acting and terrible, like, you know, just dialogue and stuff. Like, just don't be that, because now you missed it on all ends. You didn't get the satisfaction of the fights, and you were certainly let down by whatever that was.
Yeah. It's just
they missed it.
Yeah. It's a bummer. I mean, and apparently it's doing really well. I see a lot of people liking it. I wish I could be part of that group. I'd love to love this movie. I really would. Because like I said, I want to go back to theaters. I want to go eat a big bucket of popcorn and watch Godzilla and King Kong fight.
Sure.
If there's no shot I'm going to go see this movie again.
I wouldn't. I'm glad. Let's put it this way. I went to the early bird and paid $8.25 for that ticket. And I'm really happy. Because if I had went to the night show and spent 21, I'd have been a little upset. I'd have been like, this wasn't worth 21 fucking dollars.
Yeah. I just paid a month for HBO Max and just been done with it.
Yeah, dude. So sad to say, because I was hoping for the best. But
hey, I mean, listen, summer's coming up. You got a lot of big movies coming. You got that Fast 9.
I think this is what they probably saved this for the next movie. Mm-hmm. But they hinted at like Mecha King Ghidorah coming in.
Yeah.
When they were like that's why they showed the skull and the brain running. That's what I thought they were about to do. I was like, oh, so this is about to be a 4-way. Like it's about to really crack Mecha King. But they didn't. That just ended up being where he sat.
Yeah.
While he
I'm fine with, because if they added a fourth person, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I want to go home.
Yeah, it would have been too late to add it, but again, to me, my thinking was that okay, this might be that moment we get the big action finally. Yeah. But then we didn't even get that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of Mechagodzilla being controlled by a person either. Obviously, it switched over, so it's like, yeah, they made it work, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, I would have been a little more interested if we got to see somebody fight the monsters with like the big mech, at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that would have been fun, but they went in a different direction. It's fine. It's whatever. You got to have that moment where Demian Bashir just gets like bitch slapped by Mechagodzilla, which is fine. But it's like, once again, it's like when your big fucking villain gets taken down, you should be like cheering, like, yeah, they're gone. Like, let's go. I'm ready. Let's fucking fight, baby. I'm pumped up. And I was just like, oh, Demian Bashir is now not in the movie anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to worry about.
Like, thank God he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't really disturbing the peace. Like, he wasn't this big, oh, this guy's always fucking it up.
Yeah. It's just like, and it's just like, he's barely there too. He's like, he has that one scene where he's talking Skarsgård into going down to the center of the earth. And he has a scene where like his lackey is like, you really think your daughter's going to pull it off? And he's like, yeah, I think my daughter's going to pull it off. And like, that's it. And then he had big villain monologue, which isn't really anything except like, we want humans to be the dominant species again. It's just like, okay, that's fine. Godzilla wasn't fucking with anything before, but like,
that's where I get confused. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. This is a thing that protected you guys in the last movie. And then has just gone away peacefully for 3 years. But somebody was like, I'm going to build something to attract it to come over here so we can kill it.
Which, once again, it's trite. Maybe it's a little lazy. It's something you can come up in 5 seconds. But even if he's just like, I don't know, my wife got killed in a Godzilla attack. Like, I'll buy that more. At least I'll have like something there to latch onto at least a little bit.
Not just, we want to be the apex predator. That's why we're called Apex.
Even have a fucking scene where him and his daughter talk. Like, why isn't that a scene that's in this movie? You
could have started the movie with that. Like, that could have been the foreshadow that shows this. So then, like, maybe not started it, but, it could have given... Yeah.
Because, like, Isa Gonzalez, like, she is convicted to be like, we're getting our shit from here. We're going to get Mechagodzilla. And, like, why are you like this right now?
There's no reason for
it. Going on down here? Get the hell out.
Yeah.
Like, she's fucking shooting King Kong and everything. And I'm just like, there's no motivation here for me to believe that she's gonna like do this shit.
Yeah, she's like, shoot him, get him out of the way. It's like,
and like rightly so, she gets fucking like crushed like a Coke can.
It was great. That was satisfying when he just was like and dropped it. I was like, thank God.
But it's just like anything from either of those two would have been nice. Yeah. Like I said,
some
like
sort
I
of backstory.
Not one scene between those two characters. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that for sure.
Because like it reminds me a lot of Prometheus when like Charlize Theron and Guy Pearce are like father and daughter, which is like a late reveal and it's like a little tacky, but at least they have like a scene and there's some like it's two really good actors going back and forth on something. Like I don't know what either of these characters really believe in except like the evils of capitalism, which I'm down with, but like also give me something because like I'm not getting anything out of you.
You got no reason to feel sympathy or really anything. You're just like, all right.
And once again, it's a big dumb action movie. It's fine if you don't want to do that, but stop spending so much time with them if you're not gonna give me that.
Yeah, if there's no payoff, you don't have to waste my time.
Like, people are complaining, like, you really wanted a big, like, satisfying emotional story out of a big monster movie? No, but like, I don't want a 2-hour runtime either.
Yeah, if I'm not gonna get the fucking if I'm not gonna get the action that I paid for, at least then give me that big emotional payoff acting wise. Instead, like I said, we didn't get the action we wanted, and we got a lot of dialogue that we didn't need and really wasn't that good.
Because like, I feel like the first Godzilla is honestly really good in the fact that it like doesn't give us a lot of the fighting, but is good at like the human stuff. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Cranston, Watanabe, Strathairn, like all those guys are really good in that movie and are like doing some interesting stuff. And by not showing the monsters that much, when they really do show up and they start doing shit,
it's where it pays off.
Whoa! Like, oh my god!
I agree.
That's insane. The scale of these guys is incredible. I feel like we are actually in danger. The world's gonna fucking end if these guys get to do what they want. Like, I feel the scale of what's going on is actually there. And here, that's just like a fucking wet fart, man. It's just nothing.
It's like a day in the life. They're just like, they're going to destroy Tokyo real quick.
It's just like, oh, it's Tuesday again? Okay. Another corporation built a big robot monster? Oh, well. Guess that's what we're doing again this week.
Yeah, it was, Ah, man, I'm pissed.
It's a bummer.
I'm pissed.
It's a bummer.
I wanted to be chatting it up so enthusiastically today. I was so...
I wanted it, man. But I was so bored. I couldn't believe it.
Damn it, man. You bastards. You fucking did this to us.
But just like, even I was just like, somebody brought it up, and I was just like, why isn't somebody like Walton Goggins or Michael Shannon or like people like these, like, why aren't they in this movie? Yeah. Like, spicing it up a little bit.
Yeah, like, give me something.
Yeah, and it's just like, why can't we have Brian Tyree Henry with like the fucking people going to the middle of the earth so we can have some comedic like relief there?
Yeah, because I agree. We don't need the comedic relief with the kids because they're already soft and kind of, they're kids.
Like, I'd rather have Brian Tyree Henry like reacting to the fucking
shit going down when Kong's getting attacked. Yeah, for sure.
Instead you have Isaac Gonzalez, who's just like, oh, that's gross. Which is like, okay, that's great, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather him be like, why is that fucking lizard that flies right now? Like, I'd rather see that. Like, big, dumb, and annoying and stupid, but like, that's what I'd rather have. Yeah, honestly, in a movie like this.
They had that. They missed that. I think you're right. I think he'd be a lot funnier if he would have been in that ship.
Yeah.
Because they did some shit, or like when they went and shot through, anti-gravity, I'll say you would have had him screaming or something. Which this is a side note too, that whatever. This is a movie that like these little things don't bother me too much. Sometimes they just piss me off. But the one thing I was thinking about when they went through this anti-gravity and did all this stuff, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, that little 7-year-old's just gonna calm collective and not basically die from the G-forces going through whatever that is. Again, there's already so much unrealistic shit happening. That doesn't bother me too much. But I'm just sitting there thinking, like, anything like this would probably take like 20 years of training. You don't just grab the 9-year-old who's never left the island and she's just as casual as can be, just...
I mean, I remember going on fucking Mission Space at Disney World when I was fucking 12. That shit knocked me out for 2 hours.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. There's no way she eats those G-forces in the fucking core of the planet, and she's just like, I have the doll. Can we go talk?
For sure. Yeah. Like we said, like, it's a big time action. Like, I'll forgive that shit. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure. That was the least of my concern.
I don't give a shit. That's fine.
For sure.
But it's just like, once again, just like, are we going to do anything with her while we're down there? Not really. Okay.
She's just the translator, just the one that they all speak sign language. She's just literally the one that he trusts.
Which there's some cool stuff they do with her too. Like, I like that she's able to hear Godzilla from like him swimming in the water. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's like the classic, when somebody can't, when they lose one of their senses, their other ones are heightened. That's like a real thing.
But like, there's fun shit with that. I like that you can like kind of hear Kong's heartbeat too. That's another thing. Like, they have
cool, yeah.
You're able to sense like what's going on with Kong through that. Like, that's cool. Mm-hmm. But there's just like so little of that shit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's the fucking eggs that they find in the like facility that have like all the skull walkers or whatever they're called. That
they never even did anything with those.
Yeah, it was just like
that was just how they got to Hong Kong in 10 minutes.
Yeah, because like you bring one of those in, like when Kong's going up, he's gonna be fucking like, oh shit. these guys fucking ran rampant. They're scared the hell out of me. Like, there's nothing. Yeah, man, it's a lot of just like missed opportunities. I feel like they focus on all the wrong stuff.
Definitely.
I feel like there's not that sincerity that like something like Pacific Rim has, or even like Godzilla, the first one, in its own ways, has.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a studio product, which is the last thing I expected from Adam Wingard. He's not one of those guys. Usually, he's usually very good about this kind of stuff, and it bums me out. Yeah. I wish I could have liked this movie a lot more because I like so many of the people involved. Mm-hmm. It's Godzilla and King Kong. I like Godzilla and King Kong, man.
Love it, dude. Those are my favorites. I mean, growing up, like I said, Godzilla vs. King Kong, the original one, the black and white one. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I owned it on VHS as like a 7-year-old. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite movies. Yeah, like, I want that movie. Like, I just love it. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. They fight the whole time. Like, it's like a 3-hour movie. It's like really long.
Yeah.
But like the first hour is, it's a build up, but you got to remember this was made in like the 30s. So they build ups that long where they were okay with. They were just like, oh my God, the pictures are moving. Like, they were still excited about the basic.
I got
but
that.
Then you get like the back end of it for like 2 hours of just consistent fighting, and you're like, this is awesome. And it's two people literally in bodysuits, so they're fucking throwing each other around, and they're in the dust, they're jumping on each. Oh man, dude, I gotta show you it.
Which even like I was talking about this at dinner last night with some family because they were like talking about it. I said that I had seen it, and they were like talking about the older ones, and like one of my answers was like, "Oh, the dumb older ones were like it's just guys in suits fighting." I'd like,
love that.
That like adds some character to it. It's like a little more tactile. You can feel the guys are there. They're fucking whacking at each other. Like that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's like, no, go for it.
I was gonna say I knew that going in it was gonna be a CGI party, so I knew it wasn't gonna be that. But I was still hoping for at least, since if it's going to be a CGI, let's at least just up the stakes with the fighting. That's what I was hoping.
It's just also like it doesn't look good. I feel like it just doesn't look good.
I hate dude. Dude.
Well, it's not even just like CGI in general. Just like this CGI did not look good in this movie.
I agree, but it's also goes into a bigger thing with me. This is where I have we're not going to get into it because it's a long discussion, but this is where me and Marvel have my fallout because it's just a CGI party, and sometimes I don't think we get. Okay, maybe the people who are watching it for it to be the Marvel Universe, maybe they're getting what they want, but I don't get what I need out of a film when I watch these Marvel movies.
No, I get that. I mean, it's a bummer to see that, like, where they film these, it's like there's maybe like the husk of a ship or whatever, and then it's just green screen for miles, which I understand.
Sure,
these are movies that are like made very, not fast, but like they're not going to put it, like, they got 20 more of these to make in the next 5 years, so they're not going to like invest in a bunch of sets and everything.
But at least what Marvel does, now that if we're going to compare it to this, at least what Marvel does is, they're not trying to necessarily invest you into deep acting. You get a lot of good action in those movies, though.
Yeah.
So that's the thing where it's like, and plus it's, it's Marvel. So like that automatically is going to bring people in. It's got a past.
But then again, you have a lot of good actors who once again, and like their scripts are like good enough where like they'll throw in a bunch of like pretty decent jokes. Sure. Are they a little hacky and like they're a little samey from movie to movie, but at least there's like some comedy there. I'll laugh at those.
But jokes. The cast is heavyweights though. Like these are big actors.
Yeah, because I mean, Guardians, you have that that group. Like I could spend 5 hours with the 5 of those people just going back.
They're fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
And then you have like, I'll watch Downey Jr. play Iron Man for fucking ever. You have Evans, you have Hemsworth. Like there are all these people that you can like focus on and latch onto because like they're movie stars.
Right, yeah, no, exactly.
There's a reason they're paid as much as they are to do these because they're fucking charismatic and they'll like bring an audience in.
Yeah, you watch them and you're like, oh, I like watching these guys.
And once again, I like Skarsgård. Even he admitted in an interview, like, listen, no one is coming to this movie to see me. Not a single person is paying to see Alexander Skarsgård.
I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's just no one's coming through in that kind of way. Like, that's the thing, at least, and they have those characters. Like, there's a lot of character with, like, somebody like Spider-Man or Iron Man or Captain America. Like, at least there's, like, what we have to do in this movie is, like, present these characters, like, what their morals are and what their whole deal is, and then challenge them with these, like, big villains or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
And, disaster movies and big monster movies have always had this. Like, even the original Godzilla is about how, like, man tampered with like nuclear energy and built it into weapons, and that creates Godzilla, And that's the point of that movie. And then you have Jurassic Park, I think probably easily like one of the best examples of this kind of movie, where the whole like theme of it and the whole question is asking is like, we can do this stuff with science, but should we?
Right.
Like at least you can go back to those movies. Here's what is at the center of these.
Yes.
And while there are like trappings of stuff in this movie and like King of the Monsters, like there's the whole like science, like I love how Tony Stark puts it in one of the Marvel movies actually, where he's like, I don't want to do the man was not meant to meddle medley. Like that's a great like way to put it, where it's just like, this is our thing for this movie. Like we were not supposed to meddle with this kind of science and like be this powerful or whatever. And like the whole evil big corporation capitalism sucks and all that shit. Like I'm down with that, but they don't dig into any of it. It's just like we touched on it for like a second, and that's what we got. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, man. It's just for a movie that's so long. I just wish they would have taken some time to do anything with any of this.
Make a stance on something. They dipped their toes in a bunch of things. They never actually jumped into anything.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
And like even like there's a good route you could take where it's just like, man has fucking fucked with nature for so long, and nature's punching back with Kong and Godzilla and shit like that. Like that's a fun little route you could go down if you wanted to. Sure. I haven't seen like a big monster movie tackle really that shit yet. Sure. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Once again, they just like don't do anything with it. Like that's a route you could take, and they're just like, nope, we're just gonna like touch on it for a second and get out of here.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's kind of maybe the theme of like Planet of the Apes. That's kind of like, you know, they realize that like the humans are the enemy. I mean, not completely, but like to an extent, like that would be the one that kind of touches on that theme to the closest one, I would think.
But like once again, that's a movie where it's like man was not meant to meddle, because the reason the apes are the way that they are is because there was like that.
Yeah, the whole James Franco bringing up.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
John Lithgow.
Or no, the actual name of the monkey. What was his
Caesar?
name? Caesar. That's right. Caesar.
Yeah. Like there's that stuff in there, which little thin, but like it works for the movie, because the rest of the movie you get to like see this great performance by Andy Serkis, which I think that's another big thing I wish these movies had. I think it would help with the weight and the scale and everything. And I don't know how they do this. Maybe they are, and I'm just not giving them the credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
I wish they would have taken that kind of thing where it's guys in suits and just do motion capture with the monsters. I think that would like add a lot to it. Because like you watch the Peter Jackson King Kong when Andy Serkis is the guy who's doing the monkey.
Yeah.
He's great. There's like a lot of character to that performance.
Peter Jackson's King Kong is like my favorite. Like that was like one of the movies that like inspired me to like film industry. Like, dude, I bought like the box set of it.
Yeah.
I bought that movie, made me buy like a book that was like, it was like how to direct or whatever. I just remember it was the first time in my life I was like, for whatever reason, I didn't even know what a director did, but I was like, I want to be Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Just so I can make King Kong and have Jack Black like and just do that movie. I have a little ship, dude. I have a little ship that sits in my bathroom sink at my house in Missouri that looks just like the ship they used in that King Kong.
That's
Don't ask me how I found it, where it came from, but I found it.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, yeah, that might have added something.
Yeah, like I think at least there's like, because that's the other thing. I feel like these movies haven't. I think Kong Skull Island is the best at it. But like, there's not a ton of character to these monsters, and I know once again, that's not what it's entirely about.
Yeah, I don't even need the character of the monsters.
Fair. But like, I think you think back to the Peter Jackson King Kong, and like that King Kong is like a character. Like you know, like what he's feeling, what he's thinking.
Yeah, but you go through a lot with that fucking monkey. It's a 3-hour movie. You watch him defend his home, get taken, and then. Like in the way they take him, but he's trying to get the girl because he fell in love with her. They bust his nose, you know, and then they bring him in like that shit. I'm emotionally invested with him, not so much just because of the character performance of the monkey, but because of the rest of the movie and how it's developed and laid it out. So once that monkey, you know, towards the end is in Manhattan, I cried, dude. I'm like, fuck, dude. I was like, they really just ruined this dude's life. I was like, they really just did this. And he did it for this girl and tried to protect her. And
but like even that movie has moments where Andy Serkis can really like lay into it and really get you like a moment I think that was like him like out on the fucking ice in Central Park and he's just like having fun out there. like I'd love something like this in there where it's not just like Kong's gonna go find this thing, Kong's gonna go do this, he's gonna go beat up this thing over there, this thing over there. Like I'd love a moment where they're just like, just let him be like an animal for like 5 seconds, let him have some like fun. Like one of the best moments in the movie for me, like when it first started, was like, oh, King Kong is like taking a bath, he's like scratching his ass a little bit. That's something right there. That's kind of fun. I like that. And then you like never really get anything with that, and you never really have gotten anything like that with Godzilla in these last few movies. Like he always just feels like this thing that's just going to come up and fight real quick. Like I'd love these things for me. Like I'd actually like to care about these monsters in some way. It doesn't have to be anything huge.
Yeah.
But I would like a moment where just like, because you always see Godzilla like just going to the fight. Like he goes to the fight and then he's just like, fucking, we're ready to fight.
Yeah.
And the take on this Godzilla that a lot of people have been out is just like, he's fucking pissed that these guys woke him up. He just wants to go to sleep. Even if he's just like down in the water, he's like laying down. He's like in his little like Godzilla cave or whatever. And he's just fucking taking a nap. And he fucking senses something or he hears something. He's just like, what the fuck are they doing up there now? Like even that would just be like kind of nice to have.
Sure.
Just something.
I agree with you. I don't personally need that. I can just have him battle, but it wouldn't. I do agree with you. It would be nice to see. Like I said, I didn't go into that expecting any of that. I don't need that, but I get what you're saying.
But like, and I'm with you. Like, it's not something I expected, but I was just like, these movies aren't working for me. And like to nail it down is just like, there's nothing that like character-wise brings me back to any of this. Which
if they make another one, I don't know if I see it because at this point I'm like, I don't. But King Kong vs. Godzilla is like the peak for me. That is the big one, and they missed it. So I'm like, I don't. Mecha King Ghidorah is not bringing me back.
Yeah, but like the Marvel movies is like a good example. Like, listen, I know I'm in the minority where I like a lot of those movies, but like I know they're like pretty samey, and a lot of people feel like they're mediocre movies, and like that's fine. But the reason people come back to them, and like the reason like the Avengers movies are so big, is because they fucking love those characters.
Yeah.
And Fast and Furious is another great example where like those movies are big and dumb and like all that kind of shit. But like, I know like the character of Dominic Toretto and Roman and Tej and Lenny, like, or at least I can like nail down like, here's why I want to go see these people again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
So I would like some of that in here. I think that's not uncalled for, where you can have like a fun character or two.
Yeah.
Like there's just none of that here. And the people they did, they fucking wasted it all on Kong Skull Island because it's set in the 70s and they can't bring any of those guys back.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, all those guys would be dead.
Yeah. You could still do Samuel L. Jackson because Samuel L. Jackson has just looked the same for 30, 40 years, but I guess he died.
Yeah, he's fine.
But like,
he does die in that movie. You're right.
But like, he could just show up and be like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. I've aged 40 years. And we'll be like, great.
I would accept it. I'd be like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, it's like when everyone saw Captain Marvel, like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. I'm 40 in this movie. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I'm ready. That sounds awesome, man. I'm ready for you. So it's just, I don't know. I'm just searching for things like, because I would like to like these movies. Yeah. I like to watch a movie where like big monsters fight each other and they like do shit and fuck up shit. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something to make these so they're not so like tedious every single time. Because I felt the same way about King of the Monsters, where I was just like, by the end, I was just like, guys, I'm tired of this. I really just want to go home now. This has been going on for too long. You've shown me too much of Millie Bobby Brown, and like I'm ready.
It's a long movie, dude. I fell asleep by the last like 20 minutes in theater, which I'm almost embarrassed to say, but that's just how long and like it was like redundant. It was like, all right, it's all right. You're fighting again. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But it's just like at least. Like I feel like the one thing I liked in that movie was fucking Mothra. Mothra fucking killed in that movie.
Mothra was a badass.
Yeah, and because like there was some shit to Mothra. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Mothra's cool. Okay, all right. And then Mothra dies, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like, all right, dude.
I got 10 minutes of Mothra, and now we're done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. It's just this. The series has had so many opportunities to win me over, and I just. I don't know. It's going to be that thing where they put out another dope trailer for the next one. I'll begrudgingly see it because like I have another movie on my A-list subscription I can go see that week. Yeah, it'll be fun to go sit in an IMAX theater and just like shovel popcorn into my mouth. But it's just I wish I could be like more looking forward to these movies and like not hesitant every single time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Matthew?
I think I've said enough nice things.
That's fair. I don't know. I do want to give this movie 1 or 2 points. I like the fact that it's a very diverse cast. I think that's pretty cool. That's nice to see like more color in a movie like this. You gave Adam Wingard a job. He's gonna get more jobs after this. Hopefully, this is just like one of those where like I got paid, so now I get to make some more like fun, smaller movies like I used to. Hopefully, that's what happens. But I don't know. It seems like even like Chloe Zhao, who's getting nominated for Best Director and Best Picture this year at the Oscars for Nomadland, and like Emerald Fennell, I think her name is like who directed and wrote Promising Young Woman. Like they're getting their Oscar noms, and then a month later they're like, now they're going to direct a Marvel movie, and I'm like, is there any other career path, please? Like and as much as I like those movies, and I like have put in enough like blood and sweat into those movies to like understand that I'm the one who brought this upon myself.
Yeah, this is your fault. This is literally your fault.
I'll say it. It's my fault. I lined up for every single one.
Yeah,
I'll admit it. But like, it's just like, I wish this wasn't the career trajectory for every director. Where it's just like, oh, you made 1 or 2 pretty good smaller movies. Now all you make is like big IP movies. I'm just like, hey, guys, like, props to Rian Johnson. And I know not everyone is a big fan of his work, but like he went from Star Wars to Knives Out, and that was like so fun to see him like make a smaller movie right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish we got more of that these days. And like Taika Waititi, as much as I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, like I respected that he went from Thor to Jojo Rabbit. I just hope that like people do more of that instead of just like only sticking in the Marvel or like big IP movie like lanes. So
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. But I think that's about all we got for Godzilla versus Kong. What did you guys think of Godzilla versus Kong? Are we just a bunch of sticks in the mud and you fucking love the movie? You thought it was great? Let us know down in the comments. We'd love to know your thoughts. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well. We'll have some more stuff coming for you very soon. Subscribe and follow to our like Instagram and our Twitter pages. We'll have all the links for that down in the description below for our personal pages and for the page for the show, all that good stuff. And if there's not anything else, we will see you guys next week.
Peace.